Buckle up, because I'm about to take you on a ride down memory lane to the year 1958, where the Ford FAIRLANE 500 was king of the road. This beauty of a car was a real head-turner, with its sleek and stylish design that was sure to make any car enthusiast weak at the knees. And let's not forget about its cool features. It was like the James Bond of cars. First off, the FAIRLANE 500 had power steering, which meant you could navigate those tricky turns and parking spots with ease. It was like having a personal chauffeur without having to pay the hefty price tag. But that's not all. This car was also equipped with power brakes, which gave you the stopping power of a superhero. You could stop on a dime, just like that. It was like having the ability to hit the brakes at the speed of light. And let's not forget about the ultimate cool feature of the FAIRLANE 500, the retractable roof. Yes, you heard me right. This car had a retractable roof that would make any convertible jealous. With the push of a button, the roof would smoothly slide back and let the sunshine in. It was like having a magical portal to the sky. But wait, there's more. The FAIRLANE 500 also had a radio and a heater, so you could jam out to your favorite tunes and stay warm on those chilly nights. It was like having your own personal concert and cozy cabin all in one. Next, we have the 1955 Lincoln Futura. This ride was truly out of this world, and I'm not just saying that because it looked like a UFO on wheels. First of all, let's talk about the design. This baby had curves for days, and its sleek lines were enough to make any car enthusiast drool. But the real piece de resistance, that bubble top baby, it was like driving around in your own personal snow globe, without the snow, of course. But the Futura wasn't just a pretty face. It was packed with some seriously cool features that were way ahead of their time. For starters, it had power windows, power seats, and even a power antenna. Talk about luxury. And if you are feeling a little chilly, no worries. The Futura had you covered with its fully integrated heating system. Plus, with its AM, FM radio and state-of-the-art phonograph. Yep, you read that right. You could jam out to all your favorite tunes while cruising around town. But perhaps the coolest feature of the Futura was its futuristic dashboard. This thing looked like it belonged in a spaceship, not a car. With its push-button controls and space-age dials, it was like something straight out of the Jetsons. The 1955 Lincoln Futura was one seriously cool ride. Sure, it may not have been the most practical car out there. I mean, where were you supposed to park that bubble top? But you can't deny that it was a true icon of its time. Next, let's start with the name Atlantic. It's a fitting name because this car was a real ocean of style. You might say it was the ultimate wave of the future back in its day. One of the coolest features of this car was its sleek design. The Atlantic had a streamlined shape that made it look like it was slicing through the air like a hot knife through butter. It was so aerodynamic that if you put a sail on it, you might just be able to take it out on the high seas. And speaking of high, the Atlantic was no slouch in the power department either. It had a 2.6-liter engine that could really get up and go. With 85 horsepower, this car could go from 0 to 60 in just over 20 seconds. That might not sound too impressive by today's standards, but back in the day, it was faster than a cheetah on roller skates. The interior of the Atlantic was also pretty swanky. It had leather seats that were so plush, you could fall asleep in them and wake up feeling like you just spent the night at the Ritz-Carlton. The dashboard was sleek and modern, with dials and gauges that looked cool for its time. But perhaps the coolest feature of the Austin A90 Atlantic was its retractable roof. That's right, this car had a top that could fold down and disappear like a magician's assistant. You could cruise around with the wind in your hair and the sun on your face, feeling like a king or queen of the road. Up next, we have the 1959 Daimler Dart. First off, let's talk about its sleek design. With a body that looks like it was chiseled out of a block of coolness, this baby was definitely ahead of its time. And the cherry on top, its 2-seater capacity makes it the perfect car for a romantic drive or a solo joyride. Just don't forget your seatbelt. Now let's talk about the engine. This bad boy was powered by a 2.5-liter V8 engine, which might not sound like much, but it could definitely pack a punch. edge. With a top speed of around 120 miles per hour, you'll be zipping around town faster than a cheetah chasing its prey. But wait, there's more. The Daimler Dart also had a semi-automatic transmission, which means you could shift gears without using a clutch pedal. Talk about smooth driving. And let's not forget about the nifty little features that make this car truly one of a kind. The Dart had a traffic light viewer that would let you see the traffic lights without having to crane your neck. Plus, it had a telescopic steering wheel that could be adjusted to your perfect driving position. All in all, the 1959 Daimler Dart was one cool catch. It had the looks, the speed, and the little touches that made it a pleasure to drive. So if you're lucky enough to get your hands on one, don't hesitate to hop in and enjoy the ride. Finally, who's curious about the 1966 Ford Thunderbird? Buckle up, my friend, because I'm about to take you on a ride through time. Now, let me tell you, the 66 T-Bird was a real beaut. It had curves in all the right places, if you know what I mean. And don't even get me started on its features. They were cooler than the other side of the pillow. First of all, let's talk about the interior. It had a swing-away steering wheel, which was perfect for those moments when you needed to make a quick exit from your ride. Plus, the front seats were split in the middle, which meant you could easily snuggle up with your sweetie for a cozy drive. But that's not all. The 66 T-Bird also had power windows and locks, which were like magic back in the day. And get this, it even had a retractable rear window. So, if you wanted to let the breeze in without messing up your hair, you could simply lower the back window and let the wind do its thing. And let's not forget about the exterior. The 66 T-Bird had a classic, sleek design that made heads turn wherever it went. Plus, it had those iconic circular taillights that are still drool-worthy today. If you made it to the end of this video, generously hit the subscribe button, like, and share.